Welcome back to Chopping Up with Dads, presented by Let's Be Dads. This is your boy York. It's my guy McLeod. Today we have McLeod's father, Mr. McLeod. I'd like to appreciate you for coming on, sir.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Here we like to talk about real fathers, have real conversations about life, growth, and what it means to show up for our families. Tonight's conversation is something deeper than money, success, or achievement. We want to talk about legacies because whether you realize it or not, we're building one every single day through our actions, our words, and the way we show up for our people who depend on us. So, let's open up with an opening question. What do you think people get wrong about legacy?
Uh, I think people most of the time people will just think too much into legacy. Like I was my me and Tay were talking about earlier today. Matter of fact was for me legacy is just basically, it's your kids. Like your kids is the biggest legacy you can possibly leave behind. Like because everything that you done did, came like all the stuff that you want known and go out into the world you put into your kids intentionally and unintentionally. As they grow up, they kind of, they're around you, so they kind of, draw in everything that that you're doing. And what bigger legacy than your kids? Now, yeah, of course you can have like, you know, business and stuff like that to leave behind, or just make um, stuff to give them where they can make money and take care of their family and stuff. But for me, the biggest legacy is the children.
McLeod. Or
Um,
McLeod Jr. McLeod Jr. We'll go.
uh, I would say this like pretty much the same thing too. Like it makes sense, like the kids to be the legacy. And also just establishing um like a way of just breaking the curse in a way too. So whether it's like in the mental aspect of where back then we may like pops probably would have been like, I'm gonna just handle like my mental on my own. But now it's like, okay, let me find a way to like channel that mental in a different type of light. So let me go seek therapy or try to do something else out of the ordinary from like how his past was. So I would say just trying to like enhance a little bit more to kind of create legacy. Also, I feel like legacy is documentation, being able to document our creating that blueprint. Not only just having like you said like the business and stuff there, but how did I get the business? Or how did I go about the steps of creating something instead of it like I'm figuring it out on my own, or like with trading and stuff, like I could create that foundation, create that blueprint, so you don't second guess yourself. Like this is what pops did, and I could follow that. So that would be like the legacy from like down generation. If that makes sense. So
For sure, for sure. For me, what do people? I think they get the definition wrong. I think most people think of legacy as, like I said earlier, about money. What you leave monetary. Me personally, I think my legacy is defined by when I get to the age of I can't do nothing for myself. What will my kids do with me? Will they want to take care of me? Will they want to put me in a home? You gonna put me in a nice home, or you gonna put me in a shitty home? We got you gonna put me in a nice home, you put me in a good home. But also it's about what can I teach my kids while I'm here? What can I pass down? Like McLeod said, how can we take those things and change what we've learned and turn it to positives so our kids can understand it. And in that way we're not just creating these the same cycle over and over again. We're changing the legacy. We're giving our kids different so they can understand different, so they can, give their kids different. So that way we don't break this, so we don't continue the same cycle. And the legacy, it changes because most of us, especially me, I come from a legacy of black men who don't want to step up, of men who don't want to take care of their kids. So how can I change that? And I think I look at it as just how can I change it? What can I do day to day to change that? How can I be better with my kids? How can I
Hmm.
love them better? How can I teach them better? How can I have a son that got autism, Mr. McLeod? So how can I put how I feel aside and deal with his emotions without letting my emotions, get all involved in that. So but I think it's about with your kids, their final say so, how they feel about you, how they love you when it's all said and done. When nobody's there, what will your kids say about you? When you're
Yeah.
dead and gone, and you're at a family reunion, your kid's gonna say, "Well, you was you a crappy dad, or was you the best dad?" Or, "Well, it wasn't perfect, but we had everything we need."
Yeah, and
You
see,
know,
that's
my
true.
personal opinion on it.
Yeah, and that's all that makes sense because let's go back to kind of what I was saying. Like, with your kids, you kind of want to make sure that the things that you went through as in your life, like what you want to do is make it give them the tools to where they ain't got to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was playing the tape before. Like what you the goal is to um make say like okay, say like I'm putting an example out there. Just say like I'm making uh $50,000, you know, then your goal should be, hey, I'm gonna make $100,000, and then I'm gonna show my kid how to make $200,000. You know what I'm saying? So just at some point, like starting at a point to where you can just steady build on that knowledge. Like I told Tay a while back ago, um, I'm gonna give you everything that I know. You got 40 plus years of my experience, all that, everything that I done went through, everything that I done bumped my head up against the wall with. I'm gonna give it to you so you won't have to bump your head up against the wall. But now there's a choice there. Now you can choose to go do whatever you want to
Hmm.
do with it, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. Now you still, if you still decide that you want to go do it, then that's on you. Like I like one
Yeah.
example I was using one time, like I can tell you all that. I can be like, hey, don't touch that. That's shit. And you be like, yeah, whatever. I don't think that shit. I'm go there and grab it myself and let me see. And you pick it up and you grab it and rub it in your hand. And you be like, it's kind of warm and everything. And you smell it, be like, oh, damn, it is shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't, I done told you that's what it is, but you got to go see it and play with it for yourself. Now, and now, so now you got to learn that lesson the hard way. You could have skipped all that, getting it all over your hands if you would have just listened from the beginning. And that's the same thing with like just building generational wealth as well. Like just you know giving the tools to be able to get higher and higher as you go up. Because it's no the thing about fatherhood. It's no book to this thing. Like every
Hmm.
kid is different, every situation is different. But as a father, what you got to try to do is just make sure that focus on having your children life a little bit better than yours. Make whatever you went through in your childhood, be like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure my child don't go through that. Maybe I've made mistakes, raising my kid, raising them. And they probably like, well, I ain't gonna never let my kid do that. I think it'd be better for my kid not to, go through that. And that's good. Like, like, cause there's a step up. Every time it should be a step up from the time before. Every lesson that your parents had to go through and learn, they should teach it to you to where you ain't gotta learn it. But like I said,
Yeah.
it's always choices. 'Cause kids
It
don't
is.
listen a lot of times.
I mean, they don't, but when you think about you probably didn't listen. And when I see my boys, I
Mm.
be like, man, I knew I wasn't as bad. But then I think about growing up without a father, growing up with just a single mother, and what she had to instill in me, and stuff like that. So okay, so it's a question: what as a father, a black father, what in you made you say, okay, cool, I see my mistakes, and I don't want McLeod, or I believe y'all is it it's three, right, McLeod, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So what made you say, okay, cool, well, I don't want my kids, to for this to trickle down. Like what in you, what in you kind of triggered that, I guess.
And that question is for me.
Yeah, yeah, for you.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, just
No, you good.
yeah. I mean, like let me get you to repeat that again.
So what I I would say, okay, so what in you said, okay, cool, I'm a father. Now I'm a father. I'm a black father, and I got three, black kids. So what in you said, okay, cool. Well, I wanna change. So what, how can I instill what I know, or why would you want to do that? If the father was actually, well, hey, well, why did you do that? Why did you instill this in McLeod?
Mhm.
What would be your reason for instilling, I guess different ways. compared to what you was instilled.
Yeah, yeah. It's because it's hard. Like ways that I came up was hard. It's a lot of stuff that I wasn't privy to. Like I didn't have like a lot of stuff coming up, and um I never want the thing that kind of made me just change all my whole ways is because once he was born, you know, that's when I was like, okay, it's real now. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't want your child to go through the stuff or go to like, the penitentiary system or get involved in the streets, then this is what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta change yourself now. Now you gotta look at yourself and tell yourself, hey, I don't want my kid knowing this or seeing me do this. In order for, that to happen, you ain't got no choice but to change. Because whenever
Mhm.
you have a child, the way I look at it is anytime you got a child, then unless you just a selfish, no good person, you should want for your child, more than what you had for yourself. Like, 'cause if you think about it, that's a little bitty version of you. So basically, what would you want to do for yourself? Like, if that was you again, if you can make this in your life better, what would you want to do for yourself? Is how you ought to
Mhm.
see that you do it for your child. And so that's one of the main things that'll make you, you know, or made me just kind of change up the ways I do because I actually, I love my son. I want to see him have, and when you love somebody, you want to have see them have the best. You don't want to, if you can protect them from all pain or any kind of whatever, you'll do that no matter what. Like, you know, they may not see it at the time. They may see it like, oh man, you being hard, you being too hard or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, I done seen stuff that you don't even know
Which
about. I done been in situations that God blesses us with foresight from our experience. Our past experience, things that we went through is there for a reason. And that's the foresight. So once you can kind of know what you went through. If you see them going on the same route, then you can kind of, veer them the right direction. They, like I said, they might be like, oh man, he being, you know what I'm saying? But at the same
yeah,
time, you're like, nah, really, I'm there protecting you. Know what I'm saying? But now you don't see it. A lot of times you don't see it until you get older. Then when you get older,
hmm
you be like, oh man, y'all understand. Now I see what dad talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I hear that all the time from Tay. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Do
that's. Go ahead, Clyde.
do you feel like I know we talked about this before, but I kind of want the audience to know too. Do you feel like being a product of your environment kind of hinders people from like excelling to a higher level, or
Talking to me or your
both
pops?
both y'all? I mean,
Uh, I think allowing your children to become a product of your environment is wrong. Point blank. Period. I don't care if it's a good environment, bad environment, whatever. It's not their environment. Your job is to create an environment. And McLeod, I said this plenty of times. My job is to create an environment for my kids to grow up in the environment that I create. Now, of course, they're going to bring things into that environment. That's the reason why I created, so you can bring from the outside, inside, and multiply whatever. But yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, and then I guess a product of your environment, it can hinder you if you let it. Like because you should be able to. I mean, if anything, say like in the streets, right? It's and it's funny in it. Like when you in it and you going through like with the gangs and drugs nowadays. It's funny how it can suck you in without you even knowing it, because you might be caught up in the drugs or just high all the time or just in the life, but you ain't realizing one little small thing can mess you up. So it's easy to fall victim to the to your environment. It's easy to fall into that, but it got to be something that you care about more than yourself to make you excel to that, to
I
not be a product of it. And that's the only thing that can change you. You got to care about something more than you. It got to be something that you put more yourself into, or more your intention to, and that'll keep you from falling into that product of your environment.
McLeod.
Um, yeah, I feel like there's loopholes through it. Got to see it through a different scope of just being a part of your environment too. Because at the end of the day, we are always going to be danger in somebody's eyes. Whether it's going into a gas station, going to a high price store, somebody going to look at us in a different type of way anyway. So I definitely would say it's like up to us to kind of change that narrative. But sometimes it's like even if we want to change that narrative, it's like how? Because at the end of the day, we still black. So we can't never get that, you know what I'm saying, get that bad. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how can we change that narrative of you not judging me just because of the color of my skin? You know, so it's like now that we got
Mm.
kids and stuff, you kind of like structure it differently because Dad, I had told him about the whole Chisholm situation thing when the cops had pulled us over and stuff like that. So
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
just yeah, just the disguise part of it is just like how can we grow from it, and they just look at us as always like a terror or something. So it's like I don't know, man.
I think you got to change the environment at the end of the day, bro. Whether however that is, or figure out a
Yeah.
way to. And now sometimes we can't because we're not blessed to be able to do that. But also that comes. It's not about faith. It's about your work, what you put into it. If you just sit there and stay in the hood, well, of course you're gonna have. Unfortunately, you probably gonna have hood babies, and we all come from the. I come from the hood. McLeod, I know you come from the hood as well. So you feel me? It's a common cycle. But I just think you just change the environment somehow, some way. And if you can't change the environment, I think you can change. So when your kids leave that environment, what they see when they go to school, when they go to after school, when they go to their auntie house or whatever, you can change that stuff. And I think that's kind of important. But I think, like your dad said, no matter what, it's up to you to want to change that. I can put you in a prep school, or I can put you in a non-rural area for you to get to whatever you need. But if you choose to skip school or come back over here after I drop you off, then that's your choice. I've done my job as a father, as a parent. So what more can I do? But that leads into the next question, which is, when you think about your legacy as a father, what matters most to you? I go first. I would say, for my I just want my kids to know that I love them, no matter what, no matter how it all plays out, no matter for God forbid, if I die tonight, just know that your daddy loved you and I went hard for you, and that the biggest thing with my legacy is just making sure that whatever I died and I left for you was the best thing I could leave for you. It's not about, once again, like I said before, the monetary things. It's about, what can I leave you? How can I make you better? My legacy. When I die, what tools have I given you to make you better? It's a reason
Mhm.
why I'm in tech. I do the video stuff. I do different things because I grew up as once again, a single mother. My mom just knew the work. I want my kids to know, okay, cool. Yeah, you don't necessarily got to work in order to make money, in order to make a living. You can chill, you can do other things. You can be better. You can be way better than me just by doing this simple thing, just by listening. Yeah.
That's true. You want to go, son?
Uh, it's kind of I guess a similar question from the beginning too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say pretty much like just the same thing. Just legacy is just something that we could be able to leave behind to create that blueprint, that footprint for everything. So like the next generation could continue doing better and better. Um, yeah, that's pretty much about the same
Yeah.
question.
Same with the first one.
And my take on that is just, as far as the legacy, um, it just kind of know that I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like through whatever situation, the family always stayed together. It's no matter what any kind of struggle pops up, you still just stick your chest out, hold your head up, handle it, Go on to the next step. Go on to the next. Keep moving. Keep pushing. Don't never stop. Don't never give up on your hopes and dreams, because you never know where it might lead you. If you continue on your path, it's gonna be a struggle. Cause that's life. Like anything that worth having is gonna be something that you gonna it's gonna be a struggle to get it, and it's not gonna be easy to get it. So just know, you know, long as you keep moving, then you always gonna be able to excel. And that's one of the main things that I would like for my kids to learn from me. Like, even though I came from nothing at the gutter, didn't have no rule book to this thing, but I did the best I could. And then that's what I want them to kind of trickle down to their kids as well. Like, no matter what situation that you're going through, if you can, work through it to keep that tight bond with your kids, then do that. Keep moving, keep pushing, never give up, keep God first. Everything else will work itself out.
So how would you say? So this is an off-topic question, but how would you say you went about, I guess, keeping that bond with your kids, even though you went through obstacles of periods of not being there?
Mm,
Me and McCly have conversations. I'm not going to air out your business, but periods of not being there, or periods of not being able to, I guess, be the most effective father, but still be there in some kind of way. I guess how did you navigate that, or how would you say that you was all right, cool? Well, I got to do this no matter what, instead of just because most fathers could have ran out. They could have said, fuck their legacy and just ran
mm.
out. But apparently, of course, you stayed. So what made you?
Of course, you're gonna do what the hell I tell you to do when you be here anyway. So you know what I'm saying. It don't matter what your being don't even care. Like, this is what's gonna happen regardless. You can hate it or love it, but this is what it is. But like the main thing that a lot of things what we did was like when we take vacation time, things that we do as a family. Just getting together, being doing activities as a family, and that's how you create the strong bond. Like, we with each other, together around each other every single day, and we also do fun things, just it ain't just about, working school all the time. It's about, being able to enjoy yourself also as a family. Like, just because you siblings or family don't mean that you can't have as much fun as you could with your friends or whatever with your own family. So that's definitely one. That's a good question too, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks. Hey, so I believe parenting is already hard. I believe you got to be fun with it,
yeah.
especially with. And I got me and McLeod. We got toddlers, so I got mine are 5, 4, and 2. So I believe everything I kind of got to do. Not everything, but
And
you
you
have
got
to
them
you have to know
young
how
right
to
there together.
include that fun. Yeah, hey, look, get them out.
Yeah.
Look.
Yep.
I can't have no more.
Yeah, yeah,
Get them out. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to worry about none one of them.
yeah.
But
You,
I
hey,
think
look,
for me that
you
that
see
bond
the
is
wall
keeping.
right though.
But hey, they crazy, man. But I mean, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world, like
Hmm.
nothing in the world. And I think when you go back to, what do you want your kids to? I guess as far as legacy, I remember that Will Smith moment where he was in the house and his dad came, but his dad just ran out. And
Mm,
I think about that because I be wanting my kids to know that you'll never have that our bond will always be so tight, because of, like you said, having fun, having those conversations, being able to be open with each other and be loving. Yeah, you can fuck up, but I'd rather you come tell me so we can build that bond than me finding out, whatever the case is. Because vice versa, I'm gonna be transparent as possible with you as my child,
hmm.
So I
Yeah.
definitely understand that. McLeod, you got 2 cent, McLeod.
Man, I just feel like the hustle is real.
Huh?
You gotta like just lock in on every single time. Like, even though we wasn't given like a silver spoon in the beginning, I just feel like you gotta continue to like grind some kind of way. So it should never be an excuse of whether a person was there or not in that miss. You still like Dad said, like still be able to have those moments where you can enjoy. Because I think that's where I get my competitive nature from. Sometimes I be whooping up all them here
Oh
and
yeah,
there.
yeah, boy, you competitive, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like just
Yeah, I
being
only
able to
bet your
have.
son.
Seven till you come up
Yeah,
against me. All
yeah.
lost.
See, it's good to have that type of like competitive nature because now you could use that into like your sports or anything that's given a challenge, even when it comes to like career wise. Like you always come back to that competitive nature. Like, yeah, I know I could quit, but what if I try? Or what if
Hmm.
I like don't quit, just stay at it? Like, it's always that possibility because say if I didn't never got that competitive nature, everything would just stop right then and there, and I would never know.
Hmm.
So just being able to create that bond and not limit yourself, I think that's like a big plus of just fatherhood in general and just like structure of the family in itself. Because just being able to just come one Thanksgiving and just talk mess and be like, man, I just whooped them in chess or racing or hooping or something. Like it's like brownie points. Cause now he gonna try to train and
Payback, that
get
what it
better.
is. Payback, payback, nigga. Remember
You
when you used to
cheated,
dunk
nigga.
on me
I
when I
do
was
it.
little? Yeah,
Oh,
I
see,
already know. But see now this with Tato, he always had like, and then this is the thing about when the kids are small, it's like a pleasure, like kind of just watching how they gonna them coming into themselves. And like Tay, you always had that hustle mentality too. Like they would just, it'd be certain stuff that just in your kids. Like you ain't really gotta like you can put a little push into it, but boy, when you put that little push and
But
pull,
not
they
much,
gonna
yeah.
yeah, they'll take it and go with it because it's it just it be certain part that you can touch on or teach, and then it might not be all the stuff, but some of that stuff already in them, and then when you touch or teach on it, it's gonna expand in them. Like they just gonna shoot off, they gonna take off with it, and like that's how I tell you. I always been like he always been like a go getter, little hustler. He
Annoying.
used to
That's
take
what
the
it
little lawnmowers and stuff and go to people's yard and cut the grass and get a little dollars here and there. So, and then as a father, it makes me feel good to see the man that he's, have become too. So, that's like, you know, a trophy in itself. Like you always, when you have kids, is you always gonna have worries. You're gonna worry about
is.
everything, and even when they're grown. So once you have a child, that's a lifelong worration as a parent. You know what I'm saying? Because you be like, man,
I'm
you
worried
say,
right now.
yeah, like even when it's like, when they little bitty toddlers and stuff, you worry about, oh man, I hope they don't get into this, or I hope they don't, knock that over. I gotta watch them, and I gotta run behind them, make sure they stay close, for they won't go do, stuff. You always gotta be on your toes when they little. But then it's still the same thing, but it changes when they get older. Now you be like, man, I hope
yeah,
that Joker don't
hey,
get out there and get
world
around the
now.
wrong people. Yeah, the hope the world don't. And I try to prepare, um, you know, y'all, my kids for the world. But it's hard to really prepare everything for the world because the world's steady changing, as y'all can, I'm sure y'all can see.
Yeah.
And but the best thing, one of the things that you can hopefully do, that's why you got to stay prayed up and ask God to watch over them too. But like you can prepare 'em as much as possible, but a lot at the end of the day, it's gonna be stuff that they go through that they wasn't prepared for, and that's when that's when hopefully they can kind of tune in to they teaching or what you know, we tried to instill into them as they was growing up. Like when y'all was growing, when you growing up, and it might be a situation that you come on, like, this is my character, because your parents gonna help you create your character. You're gonna, I mean, you're gonna have your own character, like but your parents kind of mold you, and then like the teachings and the upbringings and the stuff that you was around while you was growing up, that's gonna help you handle whatever situation that come up in the right way, hopefully. And all that matters. Like it be the little stuff, the little time, the little stuff that you spend with your kid, the upbringing, all that matters. Like, you can be a product of your environment where you just, you violent treated and all that, just treated all kind of wrong, then you feel like you don't know. Cause that's all you seen. That all you seen growing up was just violent stuff. Straight, you don't know no better. So now that you don't know no better, you will do it until you do learn better. And if you got the
Hmm.
mindset, then you learn better, then you do better. Once you learn it, then you'll do better, no matter what the situation was. Be like, nah, that was wrong what you did then. What I'm saying? I thought it was right. I thought it was cool, but now I realize that it's not. And I know I need to do better. So,
Yeah.
it just,
That's What you about to say?
Nah, I was just about to ask him, cause I don't think we ever talked about it. Like now that I got older, but with the whole the Chisholm situation with the cop and stuff, I never got a chance to ask you like what, how did you feel like mentally when that did happen with everything that went down? Like how were you after that?
I was used. I mean, it wasn't nothing to me because I was used to it. Like that's what I grew up around. Little stupid ass, little
Yeah,
excuse my language, but
No, you
little
good.
folks doing little white folks doing crazy shit like that. Like I that they used to always do stuff like that. Man, see, you know what? I was telling
yeah, but the fact that that was like my first encounter with something like that serious,
yeah.
and just being like I guess
Mhm.
in that aspect of it, like how were you thinking in that realm of it?
Yeah,
Like,
well, on that part of it, say that what that's what had me so hot. You know what I'm saying? That what made me snap on them like I did. Because you in the car.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got my son in the car and you seen me pick him up. You know what I'm saying? You seen me pick him up from the building and I'm on a bright light blue truck, dude. That ain't no other truck in this city like this truck with big 28-inch rims on them. And you think I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just the fact of so what I had to keep myself um on a mental calm level because you was in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like now you got a gun and you got um intent to probably kill, with a child in the car. Then
Hmm.
you ain't taking time to check to make sure nothing. And you doing that because you can, you know what I'm saying? And that part it bothered me more because you was in the car. Like you know what I'm saying?
I,
You was there.
I wonder if you realize the impact of your actions on what it would have on McLeod in that moment. And I would guess I would say if I I would think about it. So as far as thinking about, so McLeod thinking about it now, I think he's more aware of kind of how to act, how to react when a police approach him or whatever the case is, the
Mhm.
correct way because of what he's seen you do, because of what you instilled in him compared to him seeing you, you just be black, you just be a nigga. Let's just
Mhm.
be real.
Yeah.
You just be a nigga. So I think it plays a lot more. And I think McLeod said this before is that we don't realize our kids are really watching us more than we think they are. They're watching. I think the fact that he's seeing you, and now I think it speaks once again on how you're trying to, on what you did to instill certain things in your kids as not only just being males, but they're black males. They grow up in Alabama. We all know how Alabama, we all know how Alabama is. You feel me? We know the racism, the whatever goes on in there. So I think it's honestly a kudos and a big ups to you for even doing that, and for him to even remember that and be like, okay, cool. Well, now I know. Okay, cool. Now I got my son in the back, or my daughter's in the back,
Mhm.
or my wife. So now I know how to react. And I think that's that goes back to building that legacy. I think that's something that you probably did subconsciously, not really thinking about it, or not really thinking about the impact it will have 30 years from now, or 15 years from now,
Mhm.
whatever the case is. So I think that's pretty dope that you did react in that way and you was able to reframe yourself, even being a young man. I know now you're probably a little older, so you're a little more wiser. So you're gonna definitely make sure you're straight. But being younger and being hot headed and coming from that way, you feel me? The way that you handle that, it really shows that that you actually care and that you want to make sure that your kids, don't have, like you said, that the product of the environment. They become different because you're instilling different. You're showing them different. So it's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you gotta, lose the battle to win the war. And a lot of times you just gotta, in order to, and that's why I hate like a lot of the videos I see, but like a lot of time in order to get past stupidity from authority figures, especially one that's racist and all that, just go ahead and comply. Go on, do whatever they ask you to do, and then you can come back and get justice. But the point is for you to live. So what? They tripping. You know what I'm saying? They being led, they talking crazy and putting guns or whatever on you. Okay, all right, yeah, cool. All right, you got me there. I'm dead to right. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever
Put your
they
hands
want
up.
you to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Do whatever they ask you to do. But then after that, when they wrong, they'll pay for it. Like you can do it in the right way, but your mission right then is to live. Because they looking to kill you. They want you to do something crazy before they can justify them killing you. That's it. Cause they already
Mhm.
scared and they're scared of they've been scared of our race. They've been scared of us. You know, and because they fear us, they gonna be quick to shoot. Cause they fear. And then people fear what they don't know. They don't know who we are as a people. They don't know our
Mhm.
culture. They only know what they see. And they judge us
What they
by
see.
every yeah, you know, that's it. They judge us by what they see or what they know or what they heard. And this is like a long way back in the history. Like this way back um in like Jim Crow days and all that stuff where they grandparents,
Mhm.
where they daddy and all that stuff right there taught them. Like cause you know racism is taught. Period.
Yeah.
That's taught. It'd be died out by now if it wasn't. You know, so it's
Yeah.
taught. They
Yeah.
teach these kids, oh yeah, you better than this nigga, you know, no. No, so you know, so that's what you encountering when you have these, you know, police out here doing crazy stuff to young black men and male black male figures, period. They already got that fear into them. And if they think like white folks kill police way more than black folks, do, but we always get killed by them. So
We
they
do.
shouldn't fear us, they should fear themselves.
That's true. All right, McLeod. So I got it. So based off that, McLeod, how? So how would you, as a father, I would say, what your pops did, and now that you have a boy, I know you got girls, but I believe having a boy is totally different when it comes to having kids.
Yeah.
I got my girl, and I love my girl, and I want to be the first man that she fall in love with. Point. Period. That's my job as a father. My boys, it's a whole different ball game. It's things I got to teach you about being a man of this, and this. So I would say, based off, you're younger, so you probably don't remember the whole thing, but based off, how would you say that night kind of shaped you into, I guess, to being a better father, or wanting to do better, to be in a better place, to have a better legacy, based off what you seen that night, and the racism and the adversaries that we face.
It's kind of hard, bro, because it's like I don't want to say try to be whitewashed, but still understand, have the knowledge of what to do. Because at the end of the day, like I said, they're always going to hold us accountable to what we do and what we wear, or even what we say. So I try to at least like when it comes down to like morals, just the character in yourself. Like you can control that. You can control the yes sir, the no sir. You know. So like just coming off in a respectful manner, at least like levels the playing field when you're dealing with a different type of culture. You know, you still having that same respect. So I guess like right now, what I'm kind of teaching them is just being able to have self confidence and being able to have like address things of authority with respect. That's one thing that you can control. You know, you don't have to scream and yell just to get your point across, like in like a blue collar type of atmosphere, or even just in public, because I think we talked about this before, but you never know the intentions of that other person that you're yelling at. You know,
Mhm.
so you yelling at this other person, never know they probably used to the same thing, but that same thing always causes violence at the end of it too. So I'm yelling, screaming, they don't like that, so they react and they hit you. You know, now a gun get pulled out or something. So it's like being able to control the environment just off what you're saying and like how you holding yourself. Basically trying to be accountable for just you. And then like because they're girls, man, you know, it's a lot of pedophiles out here too. So just being able to kind of hold yourself like as a young lady, I'm trying to like teach that, and my wife trying to help with that as well. Just hold yourself like a young lady. Don't go out here and doing this, doing that. I mean, I know they're young now, but eventually they're gonna become teenagers. So it's like just as a father, I'm just trying to like at least structure that in more of a, I guess, a way where it makes sense for them.
Yeah, facts, facts. Yeah, I think it's all about you responding. Because I think if your dad would respond in a different way, bro, this could have been, a whole different thing we're talking about compared to
I
him
mean, I
sitting here with us.
still, I still have the anxieties when the cops
I
pull
mean,
me
yeah,
over.
but we
Like
we
that's
always gonna have shit. I mean, you always gonna have anxiety, no matter how much you therapy, you talk about whatever, you're still going to have some trigger to it. But imagine if he would have handled it differently. Imagine the the legacy, the trickle down it would have been, because it would have been him handling it wrong. Then boom, him doing, God forbid, 25 to life. And then boom,
Yeah.
well, this how my pops handled it. So guess what I'm gonna do? And then you have a boy, and guess what that boy gonna do? You feel me? So, like you said, it's
Hmm.
about handling. But that ties into the next question. What moment with your kids made you feel like you was doing something right?
Well,
Who
Go
want to go
ahead.
first? Go ahead, OG. Go ahead, OG. I listen to OG first.
okay. Um, well, he's a product of my rightness right now. The way he is right now is kind of like just let me know that I was doing something right. Um, a lot of the choices we see, we made a trajectory for all the kids, basically. Like, hey, look, all right, now we want you to do this and then this and then this and this. Shoot, now I'll tell you, nope, go that way. But even with the choices, even with the choices that he made, he still, um, made a life for himself. Even though it was off track of what we wanted, it wasn't on the trajectory that we had planned for him, but he still made a life for himself. And then also with my other two kids, my other son and daughter, they all making good progress in the right step. So when I see um moving in the right direction, they let me know that something is, that I'm doing something right with them. Because as a father, um or we as parents, we gonna be there to correct it anyway. That's part of our job. Like, we see that you're not going the way that we need you to go, then we're gonna be there to correct it anyway. We're gonna try to, fix or you know, let you know, hey, that ain't where we want you to go. So this is what we need to do to get you there, you know. So it's just a matter of just having them, just being watchful, being watching everything that they do, and then that'll kind of let you know that, hey, I see they're self-evolving machine now. They they
Yeah.
they know that what you did wrong, but now
Yeah.
they're self-evolving machine. Now they going, like, now you ain't gotta say nothing. Now you can let go of the wheel,
Yeah.
and now it's
You
on
may be
cruise
all right, boy.
control.
You
Yeah,
may just make it, boy.
yep,
You may just make it.
yep.
I think for me, the moment, I think my daughter, when they first, my daughter just started school. She just started pre-K. So the counselor called, and she pretty much praised how good my daughter was, how good she was doing, how respectful she is. And they asked her, who were some of the people that you love and who make you happy. And it was me, her brothers, and her auntie and mom, of course. And I was in the middle of HEB and almost cried. I almost cried like a full on bitch, because I didn't have that. I didn't. My mama was working, single mom. My father was doing whatever he was doing. So to get that, and to get that call, especially, and it's not even about the who she loved. It's about the respect. It's about, okay, me listening to how respectful you are, how you say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, how you say thank you. I think it's the little things that my kids do that that show me. So when I give you a cup, you say thank you, without me even prompting it.
Yeah.
When you go to school, and we get to my Amari, he has autism, and we had his teacher conference. I don't know who that kid is at school, but it's a whole different kid than when he is home. He is so respectful at school. We get the praises, but it makes me feel like I'm disciplining right. I'm not being too hard. I'm not being too soft. It makes me feel like I'm actually there. I'm being present. I'm listening. And even though my kid's only 4, 3 or whatever, it shows, because if I think if I wasn't doing right, then my kids, they wouldn't be respectful. They wouldn't be saying that we love dad, stuff like that. So it makes me proud that my kids, when I get those calls or when I get those letters or whatever the case is, it's always that my kids are being respectful. That they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're not being, they're not making bad choices. So, McLeod, what's your take on that, buddy?
And I want to say the proud moments is just every day. I ain't even gonna lie. Just seeing, because they young right now, so just being able to see them healthy, moving around, being able to function correctly, like just everything is making me like a proud dad, and it just the embrace of daddy, I love you. You know, it just like
Mm.
warms my heart. So like I'm doing something good, and it has a proud dad moment, and just that in itself because I'm being present and I'm actually seeing them go through these experiences. So it's like just that always brings like a smile to my face with everything that I do. Like I'm doing something right. So I see them like even when I'm working out and stuff, I'll see King go over there, pick up some dumbbells and try to do this thing, you
uh,
know, or like my daughter, she's seen me hit a backflip before, so now she's asking me, "Hey, Dad,
I
can you
do
teach me how
backflip.
to do a backflip?" You know, so it's like I'm like being you like they see me as like value now, so that it just makes a proud moment now, like just for everything. So
Do y'all find that as motivation to, I guess, to well, I know your kid's older, so you like, well, yours about to get at. But do you find that as motivation, I guess, to keep going, to keep wanting to build that great legacy, to keep wanting to be that great father? I personally do. I find the way that my kids love me, like you said, when they come give you a hug and they love you, they kiss you, when they can come talk to you, or when you get those calls, it makes me, so. But it just makes me motivated because I can't. And to me, it's like I can't wait to see what you do at the next level. Oh, you only in pre-K. Oh, I can't wait to kindergarten. Oh, I can't wait to this. Or I can't wait to see you in this and this and this. And it just motivates me to think to do better so I can provide that, that environment for my kids, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and then with a lot of times, when other people come to you and tell you that they like how respectful your kids is, and how they doing in school and all that. That's another way to show that you doing something right. Because they coming to you telling you that. Um, so that's like one of the best feelings you can get, and then like you just saying, like when you seeing that, then that kind of help you keep going or motivate you to keep going the way that you were going. And then also, um, that one of the biggest things that I used to look at with my kids growing up. I just be like, "Dang, I can't wait to see, how they be when they get this age," or I can't wait to see, just seeing them coming to their own personality. Man, yeah, it's something. Then when they
That's
get their
dope.
personality, you be like, "Golly, man," you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you
damn,
like
yeah.
they be you, but they develop they it kind of branch away from you too, because they coming into their own, and it's like seeing that is like one of the you know best part of fatherhood. I mean, just seeing like your kids develop their own little personalities, and as they grow older, and you kind of see how they are and all they like. You see some of yourself in them, then you see some of your wife. Like it's yeah, that's one of the biggest perks of it for me.
No, for sure. I definitely feel you. I love it. Look, I love it. I love when my kids tell me I'm a super dad. It makes me feel great, stuff like that. I don't call myself the GOAT. I leave that to my kids. If you want to look, if you want to call me super dad, I appreciate it. It's just as long as you know you love, however you feel at the
Hmm.
end of the day, as long as you know you love, no matter what, no matter when I discipline you or whatever the case is, you love. All right, cool. So, Mr. Clyde, we like to play a game. It's called Dad Knows Best. We like to break up the tension. We know some of the stuff can get kind of happy and stuff like that. So, pretty much, we got about 5 questions. They are multiple choice. I'll give you the answers, and we just be competitive about it. The winner don't get nothing. You just get the win. So you get to take home a win and let your wife know that you beat up on two young kids in a game.
easy.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm not
forget.
used to losing anyway, so let's go ahead and do it.
So this one, all right. So this one is going to be between you and McLeod. All right. Since there's three of us on here, we'll do it between you two guys. So first question: at what age do children start forming long-term memories?
Mm,
I'm sorry. So
long,
you got one. You got year one, between 2 and 3, or at 5.
I'll say around about 5, because the older they get, then the longer their memory probably gonna be. Cause they'll call you on
Yeah,
some stuff. You
yeah.
remember when you did that? Yeah, so
I say
I
saying
say,
I say five. I don't think 2 and 3 they gonna remember
You
nothing.
say 5. The answer
yeah.
is 2 and 3. It's
What?
2 to 3.
What?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I don't. Well,
That's
I'm trying to
crazy.
think.
They
Do my
barely
kids
can
remember
Do
talk
me?
you
today.
remember anything at 2 years old?
2 to
Damn, I
3
don't remember shit
long
for sure.
term. Now we talking long term memory. Like they
Exactly.
last week, they
Well, I think. Well, I guess in the moment, like in the moment, I guess you
yeah,
kind
now
of
in the
can remember.
moment
But like,
that, but see, that's not long term though.
yeah,
You
you're right.
know,
You're right. You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah. They
Good
get older
question.
though. They're like you promise them something. Oh, they gonna call you
Mm-hmm.
on it. You remember you told
Yeah,
me
they.
that? Yeah, you might not even remember. They gonna
Well,
remember.
well, because sometimes my kids do that now. Like I'll tell them no to McDonald's and say we'll get tomorrow at school, and think they're gonna forget. And
Mm,
as soon as we
you
driving,
expect it.
I want McDonald's.
Marches.
Damn,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you forgot. All right, cool. Next question. Which has the biggest impact on how kids remember their father? A. Gifts. B. Time spent together. C. Discipline.
Discipline. I'm gonna remember the discipline.
Boy, I knew you was gonna say that. I knew it. I knew it, boy.
Remember that.
Oh, y'all like to
Uh,
beating the shit out of McLeod. He probably deserved it though. McLeod was bad. He,
mm,
he was bad at AIT. So
yeah, the badass. Yeah, he got his share, but
that,
and then so what? That's all you remember, boy. That's
I
the major
mean,
thing that stick in your head is the discipline. Like you don't remember like nothing else. I don't know. You know what
the
though?
time spent, the gifts.
When Tay this thing when Tay got older and left the house and everything, Ty just brainwashed like his mind, all his upbringing and everything that happened in now. Oh, went out the window. Now he don't remember. Now he got select little memories that he still. It's still some pieces in there, but I think it just I don't know.
that answers the
But
question.
but me,
What was it?
oh,
So it's gifts, time spent together, or discipline.
mm, I would say it's a little bit of the time spent together and the discipline. I would say because I
Yeah,
know for me
I could.
hmm,
So I could agree to that because, like
yeah,
I said,
it's
like those like fun activities and the moments I be whooping him, like it. I remember those moments.
boy,
So
you got I don't know what's wrong. You remembering stuff wrong. That's what that
Remember?
is.
there you
You
go.
fabricate memories all the time. You need to stop.
Oh, they about to come knock on the door.
But
Hey, Mr. McLeod, we got your son recorded speaking on this stuff. Yeah. The answer is time spent together. Time spent together. That's the answer. I could see how
hmm
it could be discipline and time spent together. I guess depending on the scenario or the whatever. But yeah, here is time spent together. Next question. Question number 3. What behaviors do most children copy the most? Oh no, I read that wrong. Damn. What behavior do children copy the most from their dads? A. Work habits. B. Emotional reactions. C. Speech patterns.
Mm, mm.
okay, you say
What?
emotional speech patterns, and what's the other one?
Work habits, emotional reactions, or speech patterns. I'm assuming they mean like cursing and stuff because most dads curse. What's the next one here?
Dang, it's between. Okay, don't be trying to copy my answer. It's between.
Now,
It's only one now. It ain't a between. Now. They only got you
Yeah,
one
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm thinking in my head, like which one of these two I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be. I'm gonna say speech because they hear it every day, all day, so they'll probably pick up on some of the way you talk and how you talk.
McLeod.
I kind of want to say work habits. I would
Both
say
of y'all
work.
wrong.
Yeah.
Dang, really?
Emotional reactions. Kids see emotional actions all the time. Kids see
God
the way
damn.
you rap before they hear how you speak. Think about how much your kids look at your face. They sit there and they'll stare at you while you in the moment,
Hmm.
and they gonna see and they gonna look at how you react, what you reacting to. You feel me? So I
So
I
what are you
could see
getting it
speech
from? Is this
patterns.
statistically or something? From a
Well,
statistics?
yeah. So it's source, but
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I was
I
like, some of these questions we've had before, and we was like, nah, that ain't.
yeah,
I
they
don't
just
even.
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, it don't make sense. But I
Yeah.
do the research like privately, so I do. I just leave the
Hmm.
questions because sometimes it brings on good controversy and it brings on good conversation as well. So
Hmm.
because we kind of could debate back and forth with them.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm thinking about like the emotional part of it because uh, I was thinking more of speech than emotion is because like emotion is like yeah, like it has some moments, and I guess it's like an exclamation mark on when you have an emotion, depending on which emotion that you having. Because they can see like facial expression, but a lot of time it may not be um facial expression, but always gonna be speech. And then like work habits too will be something because they see what you do. Because kids, a lot of time they watching what you do even when you ain't think they watching what you do. And then you might not want them to do that part that they watching, but if they see you every single day, they gonna start doing it, and then you know you gonna be like, hey, why are you doing that? Well, that's what you did, but they
Yeah,
kind of catch up on stuff that unconsciously you might not even know that they picking up on. It be the stuff that
but could
sometimes they pick up on the stuff that you not wanting them to pick up on because you're doing it so much. But
but could that be the same for emotional reactions? Because you could be doing reactions without even knowing you're doing them, and you just reacting.
yeah,
And
but see,
especially if you have that already instilled in you to just
hmm
act out of anger or out of
hmm
frustration or out of whatever. So that way
hmm
you just go ahead and react. And it's the same thing with speech patterns. We're taught or we're raised with different speech patterns on how we speak, stuff like that.
yeah, but okay. So with the emotional reactions, like a lot of time with emotional reaction, that's coming from like it may be anytime you get an emotional reaction, it's gonna be more like a feeling involved, like anger or something like that. Then they'll probably remember that because that's you know like exclamated. That's you'll be loud or something like that. So that's gonna get their attention more. And then like with versus so as parents, you try to make yourself aware of that. Try to make sure like you're whatever if you yelling or something, you try to catch yourself around your kids. Um, at least that's what because they can tell you like I rarely even yell. Like I don't even think have you ever heard me? I don't really like do a lot of yelling or anything because and that's from my past because
Yeah,
my
got to
dad
get
and
you to
my
that
mom
point
they used to
first.
be yelling and all that. So yeah, but anyway, so that's why I think like as a parent you got to be more like when it comes to the emotional side, you got to be more conscious of it, and that way you're kind of avoidable versus speaking or doing something, like you're at like speaking or just talking to somebody, something like that. That's why like you kind of unconscious of that, and your kid might be watching or listening to it, and you're not really paying attention because it's nothing that it's just your everyday life type deal. So that's why I would think that they kind of pick up more on speech and stuff because you're not aware that they're watching you at that time. And versus the emotional side, you're more aware that they're paying attention to that. So that's why I'm thinking like that.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, question number 4. Got one more after this one. What moment? I don't really like this. What moment is most likely to stick with a child into adulthood? Vacations, everyday routines, or big celebrations?
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, that's a goddamn good one.
Mm.
Who taking vacations?
I was about to say, I would say, for me, it would be like everyday routines. I feel like everyday routines.
Well, from
Yeah.
experience, well, from experience, I would say, you know, I'm not just. I guess I'm not. I guess the most exciting parts. of their lives, which could be, vacations, because I think if you have like a real good vacation, that's something that they would never forget where they had like a good time and stuff like that. Because to this day, Mello still remember that. You remember when we went to Hawaii, Tay, and we had the
Hawaii
birthday
trip, yeah.
party? He still remember that to this day. And he was 4 years, he
Mm,
was just turning 4 at that time. So, it
Yeah.
just, depending on what it is. Like I guess whatever more exciting for them as a child is what they'll remember. Now they'll remember, daily, routines and everything too. Cause like stuff you teaching them, like saying a grace, like now growing up, you hear it over and over again. Now you know about heart because you heard it every day.
Hmm.
So, but I say like the exclamated part of it is if you get like a real exciting vacation, something make them super happy when they little or whatever, then they'll remember that. And then if it's a routine that you constantly doing the same thing every day as a family or something like that, they'll remember that too. But I know we can only pick one, so I would say, yeah, vacation.
This one is everyday routine. We, uh, we're not. we, I don't remember. I think I remember one like real vacation. Everything else was probably like family reunions, and that was going to Baltimore to see to the aquarium. But otherwise, I don't remember too many big. I probably remember more everyday routines and celebrations or anything like that. But
Yeah,
it could be subjective to how you grow up too as well.
yeah. I'm just
So
gonna
it could
say
be
it's
subjective as well.
yeah. It depends on how you grow up. Cause I know I didn't have any vacation when I was growing up. So
I remember none of it.
yeah, hey,
I went out
yeah.
there.
I remember
That
some
you went to
routines
your
though.
auntie house.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
yeah, yeah.
a
I
lot of
remember the routine. I
routines.
don't remember no vacations. Yeah.
That all right, last question. What is more important for building trust with kids? Being right, being consistent, or being strict?
I would say being right because if you have the experience and you were like, "Hey, this is right," why not follow what I'm saying? So I mean that's just my perspective on it. Cause it's like you don't know any better, So I'm trying to tell you what is right, and I know it from experience. So what is right is right.
Strict,
I mean,
Just like y'all are twins, dog.
strict loser, strict loser,
are you saying strict? That don't even make sense.
strict loser. No, there it does. That's part of the question. What
How?
you mean?
How?
You didn't
Building
hear the question?
trust. What's most important for building trust with kids? McLeod, you say being right, and your pop say being strict.
Yeah, because
All right.
Watch, watch. L.
Well, both of y'all wrong.
Ah.
but what?
It's
So
being
what?
consistent.
Because
See, this ain't fair.
no,
Being
no,
consistent.
no. See now, look,
That
no.
don't
Because the
make
last
sense,
question was
man.
being consistent. When the last question was about
No, it
consistency,
wasn't. The last question was what is most likely to stick with your child into
but
adulthood. This
consistency
one
was in there
was
though, right?
no, it was vacation, everyday routine, celebration. The same. It's a
Yeah,
C word, different C
yeah.
word.
See?
Everyday
Look,
routine and consistency is not the same thing.
Nah, nah,
Pretty
nah.
much.
It's not. It's not. It's you trying to win. That's
No,
it's
I'm just
okay.
saying, like that's.
It's okay. It's okay. He's used to this. It's okay.
I
I'm not
mean, y'all
losing.
y'all both. I think y'all both got. Yeah, yeah. I mean, y'all got all them wrong. McLeod was the only one that got one right.
Mm, mm.
So what
So
was the
it's
answer on that one then?
being consistent. In order to
Yeah.
build trust, the most important factor building trust is being consistent.
So you
And I
hold
think
on. So you if you're wrong and you constantly being consistent, that's building trust.
I don't think they saying it like that, dog.
Now, you know
I
what?
think
You
they
getting
mean
this
Like
from
it
Chat. You getting this from Chat GTP. No, Chat GTP is like 3 years old, so it's still learning. It don't really know. You can't. No, no. See, a lot of stuff you got. See that what is the human experience got to come in at a lot of times because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's different.
Nah, but I mean, you're thinking too much about it. It's a simple question. You going into
And
you
to
trying to build a
replace the
thesis.
light bulb,
You
hey,
trying to
I
build a
want you to
thesis.
bust the light bulb to change the
That
light bulb.
that's
That
not
is
what it's
wrong.
you know that's not what
Hey,
it's saying.
this is right. I'm gonna unscrew the light bulb to replace it. I'm telling you something right. So that's where the consistent part of it. But if you got somebody that's telling you something wrong just because they consistent, don't mean there's you know what? All right.
But how's being but how do you know being right is what's right for that kid?
That's why I said the experience. You created that experience, and now that you older and you got kids, now that experience should help you teach them that that is right. You should be able to know what's right from wrong and good and bad once you have kids.
And you can be
I mean,
So you
consistently
think
right.
being
yeah.
but you can also be consistently wrong.
Yeah, yeah, you
But two
could.
things can be true. You can be wrong and right. You can be right and wrong. Or you can be, just all kind of fucked up. I mean
Yeah.
however you want to go about it, all right, cool. So last segment. Uh final question, segment 5. If your child described you in 20 years, what would you want them to say? I don't know who want to go first. Who want to go first?
You wanna go first? Yeah.
If your child, take time, breathe on it. If
Then
your
you're
child
gonna describe me the way I
describe you
was.
in 20 years, that's what he waiting on. He trying to we trying to see if this is gonna end in a monopoly fight. Or we if I'm gonna be able to air I'm
So,
gonna be able to air this video tomorrow.
So it should it shouldn't be a wrong or a right answer to this question, all right? Or is it supposed to be a wrong or right
No,
answer
no,
to it?
this is what we
Opinion.
call a open close question. So this is the last question before we close. So
Okay.
an opinion pretty much.
Uh, repeat the question. Say,
Oh shit. If your child describes you in 20 years, what would you want them to say?
um, I want them to say that my father was a good man. He stuck around. He gave us, what he could. He taught me what he knew, and you know, I still mm, able to use that for my kids. Like, they help me through life. And really that's all it really is as a father for real. Like you just want your kids to take some of what you have to offer and apply it toward them like to their life to make their life a little better. That's it. There's no rocket science around it for real. So that's pretty much all I want. Just something that um they can use from me. Something that I gave them that to help them, better um I guess go through life with. That's it.
Okay. You repeat it for you too?
nah, I got it. I would want them to honestly remember that pops ain't never give up. I mean, trying all types of different stuff. I'm getting myself in these uncomfortable positions just to make things thrive. So just like and trying to make it work, trying to define what success is. Like I said before, success is just the amount of goals that you're able to accomplish and stuff. So just being able to just do that and they see that, that's what I would want. Like Pops ain't give up. He created that blueprint. Now I'm gonna try it. Now I know when adversity hits, I know how to handle it. Pops did it, so I want them to get that. What about you?
For sure. Uh in 20 years? Um, man, that's a good one, bro. I I would say I want them to describe me as loving, maybe a little strict, but I did what I had to in order to get you. And I think I something in me says that I want my kids is to tell me that I should have been harder, even though I was already hard. I feel like I want them to be like, well, dad, yeah, based on this, this, and this, I feel like you should have been harder. But I just want to be like, he was love. He did, like he's like both of y'all said, I did what I was supposed to be doing. Not only did I went above and beyond, even when I was supposed to be asleep, I'm up recording a podcast. So one day we hope this will hopefully blossom into something big. While y'all sleep, I'm thinking of these ideas. Just that he was an all around good dad. No matter what, I was there. I was there. And I think that's what it is. Because I think that's because that's all I wanted. I just wanted somebody to show up. I wanted my father to, what sperm donor to stop going in and out. Bro, you gonna be here and show me you love me, or you not? You feel me? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna need somebody that's gonna wipe my ass when I get, because it's gonna flip. It's gonna flip. Just like just like we had to wipe, he had to wipe your ass. Now you got to wipe ass. Now your kids gonna, you feel me? It's gonna flip. So will my kids do that? Will I've lived will I've left a legacy good enough for them to do that, bro?
Yeah.
You feel me?
And
So
this is yeah, and I know my thing. I always been like, for one, like I know when I was younger, I never expected to even get old. Like my goal was not even to get old. Like I ain't, I ain't I really didn't expect to be this age, honestly. So all this is like brand new territory for me and everything, because I never saw myself getting there. But in 20 years, y'all will be about my age, God willing. Y'all be around
getting
around
there.
my age and everything. I mean, I don't know,
Look,
whether y'all be able to look good at me and everything, but still, y'all
hey
be,
brother,
about
look
that
brother, don't
age,
let don't let this sweater fool you now. All right? Don't let this
Man, don't let me get up out of
look,
here now.
don't make me come to Alabama now. I just left from up there. All right?
Yeah.
You ever want to get in the
But
gym now? Don't let this fool you.
so let me ask y'all a question. Young man. So
Go ahead.
with okay, so and this just probably up here in my area, but now what I see with the younger generation is like a disconnect. You know, kind of a disconnect from um, the just knowing the seriousness of stuff. With the younger generation and everything coming up. And what do y'all feel like y'all can do? Cause now y'all coming up in the age of technology, with Instagram and all this stuff right here. And, you know, kids a lot of time they are slowly unlearning to be sociable, you know. So what will y'all do as parents to make sure that don't get, too, because it's just gonna increase as time go on, because technology just steady increasing. So as time go on, what would y'all do, to try to make sure that y'all kids ain't just, entire just only know social media or only know, what's in front of them on the phone or the tablet or TV or whatever. What would y'all do as parents to kind of, keep them in the world versus, being in the, you know,
So
virtual world?
that brings back to basically like how I was raised with the competition stuff, staying in sports, staying competitive. But when it comes to like the social media stuff, learn how to monetize it. I wouldn't like run them away from it. I would teach them how can you make money from it without trying to be explicit in any kind of way. What can you do to create an influence that's positive? So I would like even teaching them like the coding or like whatever that technology would hold for them, but also having that competitive nature of going outside and doing something or doing some type of sports. So I like in this generation, I definitely see it, especially after COVID. A lot of people they would don't even know how to write checks, don't even know how to count money because it's automatic now. So it's like we
Mhm.
just used to everything just pretty much being handed down to us. So at that point, it's like, as I feel like as fathers, we have to adjust with the times, but still don't forget how to count your own money. Because eventually, if you got $1 million, you want to at least know how to count that. So,
I think for me, I try to expose my kids to both worlds, to a digital world, but also to the caveman era where I grew up, where on Saturdays it was just PBS Kids because we had the money, we had no cable, so you had to go outside. So I think trying to get them to go outside, but also like you said, trying to get them to, I introduce things in waves. So per age, so you get, yeah, you get YouTube, but you only get YouTube for a certain amount of time. You only get kids YouTube, this and this and this. So I think by monitoring it, and then by also not becoming a full like just tech dad, a tech parent, giving your kids an iPad. I think it's times where your kids should have an iPad when they don't. When you got to clean up and stuff, I get it. It's a lot, especially when it's just you as a father, or your say if you there, your wife is working, you they kind of got to be technology kids, bro. You got 13 things to do. Your wife then gave you a list of 15 things to do that you don't even care about, but you got to get them done because you want to hear her mouth, or you want to hear, or you feel me? So I think just by keep having the kids in both of the worlds, but not giving them one or more of the other. Because, like you said, the more we grow, it's going to become more technology. I work in IT, so I see it all the time with AI is always introduced over and over again. So just by keeping them in both of the worlds, by different activities, whether it's inside, outside, going outside. I take my kids outside to go hunt for bugs. I'm a country boy. I'm from South Carolina. We go hunt. We can go hunt for toads if you want to, baby, in these creeks. So we, but getting them outside, I think exposure is the best thing because since COVID, everybody's been so cramped up. But being outside, just getting that exposure, because now you go Christmas. Think about Christmas. How many kids you seen outside for Christmas riding a bike, riding a
My
Yep,
kids
that's
was
scooter?
my
riding.
point. That's my point.
You feel
My
me?
kids.
The what's it? What just happened? The snowstorm. How many kids you see outside playing in the snow? Now,
We
granted, it
was
was
out there
ice.
sliding
It
down
was
the
ice.
street.
My we was at that too. And it was cold, so we went and got snow from the outside because it was so cold. Let's go inside. It's cold. I ain't trying to be out here all day. We could bring some on the inside. But that's another way of trying to get them. Okay, cool. It's snowed in, but you ain't got to be on your iPad. Let's go get some snow, and let's get some food coloring. Let's do this and do different things. But also, yeah, being I like to be scientific. I like doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, little
Let's do
activities.
it. Little
Mm,
activities, and I think this goes back to what you said earlier about the just being there. Just the little things that matter. You do those little things, and it show up in a big way. So you do that thing now, and they may not be now. Granted, no matter what you do, like you said, they gonna end up how they gonna end up. But just by think by doing those little things, to kind of try to help them as much as possible. But yeah, that's my take
yeah,
on it.
definitely. Yeah, long as there is a balance and not like you're saying, like one sway, not one more way than the other one, then that I think that'll be good for them. Like because you can't kind of stop them from being on it, but you can definitely control the balance of it and just
You
make
can
sure that
definitely,
they
yeah,
they have some
yeah.
time from it. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
good. But
I think people. I think it's crazy. People. I do think people go overboard with it when it comes to
mm,
technology. I know it's off topic, but I do think people are also too paranoid because my kids, even my autistic son, they know how to count, read, all that. And most of that came from watching that stuff on YouTube. Now, granted, it was put on by me, mom, grandma, whatever, but it come from the digital era. So I think we kind of frown upon it too much without. But I think it's because we don't necessarily have all the knowledge behind it, or because we do it wrong. We give our kids too much of one, not the other. Too much iPad. So when you take the iPad when you go to dinner to that restaurant, of course that kid gonna act like a crazy fucking fool because he don't know how to be social without the iPad.
hmm
You
yep. And that's what I see a lot. Like that's the biggest um thing that I be trying to make sure I avoid with my baby girl. I don't want you to, cause I done seen it where kids like literally get depressed because you don't have access to Instagram or you don't have access to your phone or something. I mean, come on, like it's
Yeah,
so for me, cause we had other stuff that's way more serious, to be down and out about, and you get all the prayer because you don't have access to your phone or something, then that's a problem. That means you own it too much. So now it need to be
hmm
taken away for you can know, because growing up, in my generation, we ain't have phones like that. We used to be
But I was
outside
with you,
playing
right?
ball, playing sports and stuff. But
In the
so
mud.
yeah, we used to be, having all kind of ways to have fun. Didn't hardly ever, and then couldn't afford no um video games for real. So we didn't really have that. So we made, and then that's the most of them of like a lot of memory that I have is just like, being outside doing stuff. So
Mhm.
that's why I always try to, tell my kid, hey, I'll go outside and play. Like take no order. You tell them get outside and play all the time. Just, not just
Yeah,
sit in front of the TV doing nothing. Go out there and do something. Get around, walk around, do something. And that just part of like with our generation, like, with the black generation, like um and I'm pretty sure y'all see this, like a lot of time they try to erase history and everything too with us, like what happened to us in the past, like how we, a lot of times black families and stuff had to pick themselves up from their own bootstrap, to try to make a way. And a lot of time history, they've tried to erase the history. But tell you, that though, I always try to make sure I keep that in the family as well, like I always know you ain't got time to just be on these games, and then you got to try to learn, because the world is against you. It's gonna, and because of your color, crazy as it is, still to this day, 2026, it's still like
it's
that.
still the
So because of
same.
your color, the
Yeah,
world is against you. So you ain't got time to be sitting here playing no games all the time, thinking it's all thing peaches and cream when it's not. When you get out there in the world, then you be like, dang, what's wrong? What happened? Why these people, what I'm saying? No, you gotta already get yourself ahead of that. Get ahead of that curve before, that way when it hits you in the face, it won't, be a surprise to you. It's gonna be like, okay, yeah, this is what dad said. This is what I was kind of expecting to happen. Cause I think today, in today's society, they're trying to erase that. And this is still irrelevant. Like we still
I
gotta
think it
get.
becomes easier just to have it, just to be an iPad dad or just to be an iPad parent instead of just actually being there and being present. It's more effort to be present, to actually sit down and play with Play-Doh and
Hmm.
play with that, then play with those toys or whatever. Because of course, if you got multiple kids, they gonna fight. My kids fight like a married couple all the goddamn time. I
Oh
just be like,
yeah.
"What are y'all fighting for?" It's thousands of toys in here, but I think it just, and then me personally, I don't, on weekends my kids don't get devices until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, till after nap time. We done play. I think if we got to get back to probably not giving the iPad first, but giving the playtime, the interaction first, and then give the iPad after, unless it's warranted. If you're on a road trip, that's different. I get it. It's I'm not finna sit here for 20 hours listening to you scream. Get this goddamn iPad. But
Yeah, yeah.
it is warranted. But I do think we fall into it. I think because it's easier. But I think that's it's another reason. Just that just goes back to being having that patience and what you want to build. You don't want to build easiness into your kids because they're going to give that easiness, going to create tough times again. You want to take those tough times and kind of mitigate that stuff. So it may not be as tough for them, but just so they understand, like you said, so they're not just so they understand the value of going outside and not just being on TikTok all day. It's vitamin. You need to go out there. It's good for
Yeah,
your
yeah,
skin sometimes to go outside.
yeah. And then end result of just like the history in general, it's like even though they trying to erase it, if they own their iPads all the time or doing something within the technology aspect of it anyway, it's eventually going to be erased off of that too. So it's like, how do we get back into learning more about the history if nobody's teaching us? Because some of the OGs not even open to like wanting to share any information about that because they like basically forget about it type of era. And then if you think about the rap music, we got little white kids saying the N word freely now because it's in the music. So it's like how we really fighting or learning about the history or even trying to go vote and nobody's really like pushing that as much as important. So they doing the DEI, they doing all this stuff that kind of limit us. They putting these fast food restaurants around us to kill us. Like what? How can we fight it if we don't even have that certain influence or that capital to make that change?
Well, it
I
As
think you
start
got
with
to
you.
try.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you can say that, but it started with y'all too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
And that's why you know what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
he
see,
told you.
because of the transition with COVID and all of this, it's like how can you?
what you mean? How can you can do the same way? Oh, she's so adorable. You got to do it the same way, bro. I get it that it's going high, but you gotta, you just gotta. go about it the same way. You know, they put so much stuff in books because they think
Hey
we don't
man,
read them. Hi,
yeah,
mama, how you doing? They put so much
that
stuff in books. They think we don't read them. So it's like, okay, cool. Well, how do we? Yeah, it's fading away. But how do we, as black men, black fathers, fathers in period, fathers in general, black men in general, without being, how do we do that? And like your father
Well,
said, but here, but look at us now. Look what we're doing right now, bro.
yeah,
Look
and
look
I,
at
I was
look
gonna
at what
say,
we're
I was
trying
gonna
to
say
instill
that
in our
too,
kids.
because even the attention span in general too, cause like even saying like we get on TikTok or Facebook or whatever, and we talk about a certain thing, they'll get that information. They'll hear us out, but they'll just continue scrolling. What difference did it make just then? Even if it's from a social media platform or even in the book, they got then because of the access of information that we have now that's so quick and could give us a 12-page essay on that certain topic. What's stopping them from reading it and just moving on? Like now you got the information, but nobody acts on it because of their attention span or don't. Because ChatGPT will lay everything out of how to do it, but they still won't make
So
that
make
first step.
so make a video. Hey, Black King, this so and so and so. I know you here. Let me show you how to change the tire. Black King, I know you ain't have a father. I know you didn't have that. So yeah, we complain about everybody being, but we're on it too. So when our kids see us and they're on their iPads, what are we doing? We're not just looking there, looking at the wall on our typewriter, we're just jamming the wall. No, you're
Yeah.
I have an iPad, I got a computer, I got a phone, I got a I'm on something electronic. I may not be doing what my kids are doing, I'm probably learning school or whatever, but they're not seeing that. So they just see us. So you ask, how can we change that? We have it right here in our hand, bro. We change it by using this and put our voice out there. We're black. Look at what we're doing. Look at this, bro. It's not about it's
We're
the
doing it.
process.
Yeah.
Look at the
yeah,
process, bro. We right now we gotta hustle. One day we're not gonna have to hustle this hard because we did the work. And then guess what? That's gonna show our kids that no matter where you start from, look at where you possibly can end from, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me?
yeah,
Because of your
yeah.
environment. If you think about, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the same thing like with history too. Like you can make positive videos and stuff or something at least talking about the history for your kids could know it as well. But yeah, like it definitely like videos and stuff like that definitely is a plus to kind of teaching and to your kids to pass on down to that generation before they can have it, versus all the negative stuff and the stuff that they trying to erase from the history and stuff. Like you can actually put that out there through a bunch of
What
stuff,
would
but
be the
also it just being involved. Yeah. So what?
Yeah, what will also like? I know you're saying like the history, like they need to know. What would be a good starting point for somebody that want to like learn about the history? Where should they start to actually gain that information from? Like, because there's a bunch of it out there. So, like, what would
Yeah,
be
I
one of the
mean,
most
any
important
of it,
things?
any of the Black history is good. Like they got legacy museums and everything like that that you can go to kind of learn. Like it, so as long as I guess my point is, as long as it's there, just make sure they getting a little bit of it. Or if you don't know enough about it, make sure you get a little bit of it, and then that way you pass it down to your kid to make sure they get it. Get a little bit of it because
So,
just for it won't be erased from the history. For you can know if you know where you come from, then you'll know where you're going. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a it's a foundation. It's best to know your history and know why sometimes people are certain ways or why people act certain ways or what's against you and what's with you. All that stuff make
why I'm coming in that
makes
house when the
sense.
street lights come on?
You know what I'm saying?
It's too late for that,
Exactly.
bitch. It's already.
Exactly.
Hey, but you was there.
Yeah.
It ain't matter. It ain't matter why you had to be there when it was going on. But
Yeah,
goddamn it, you
but
was
Mhm.
there.
apparently
That's what you did.
that was something though. Like, there was a reason
Oh
behind
shit.
this. Like,
Yeah, there's a
that
Was
reason
you just
why
behind
get
like
that.
when
getting
the
kidnapped? Oh, see, I ain't know
No,
that. See, you learn something new every
yeah,
day.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Explain that because I don't think a lot of
I
people
was
know.
just
Yeah,
scared of
Like,
getting the
so
ass
that's what.
whooping.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
yeah, but
I'm
that's
that's
why.
what we
But
thinking.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
we
now
think we
what
just need
what
to
it
be at
was
home.
like, and then y'all probably can look this up too. But what it is, it was some town like lights out towns where they allowed you to legally for white folks to just come snatch you, like they see a kid or somebody walking, they can snatch you up, kill you, do whatever they want with you. because now the lights
Mhm.
out. You know what I'm saying? It's after dark, and throughout time, our grandparents and stuff like that. Hey, be home before the street lights come on. Or be home before it get dark,
Mhm.
because that's where that history of that come from. Because they used to literally snatch you up off the street and do something to you, kill you just for being out
I
after
didn't know
dark.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I see you
yeah,
learn. See, and that goes back to having people of in your circle of different ages, different backgrounds, different whatever. So it's dope that you can share that and to have you on here, Ms. Cloud. We're gonna go ahead and end this before we end up with a
oh
3 hour
yeah,
video.
yeah. I know, right? I'm looking at the
but
time
we,
like that.
but yeah, but I do want to say, I've been knowing your son for probably about a good almost 10 years now, and man, I love your son. Like he's a brother. Like I've been going through some stuff, and I probably waited 2 months to call him, and the first thing he said was, "Bitch, why you ain't call me earlier?" No matter what I call your son for, he's always there, man. Any ideas? So I definitely want to say, father to father, you did a great job, man. I don't know your other kids, but this one, father to father, you did a great job. Now he can be a little, McCloud. He can be a little rough. He can get on your nerves, stuff like that. And for 10 years of friendship, and we've probably been through a lot of different things, and we've been mad at each other, not talk or whatever. But at the end of the day, I can't if I don't speak to him for 6 months and I call him and I got a problem, he gonna sit there and he gonna listen and he gonna make sure that I'm good before I hang up the phone. So as a father, I don't know if I ever told you, but great job, man. You did a great job with this one. And I definitely appreciate you for allowing him to be out in the world, and even for him to join the army, because if he didn't join the army, I would have never met him. You feel me?
Yeah.
So thank you for instilling that, that wisdom and stuff, even though he's still a little bit crazy sometimes. But we do appreciate you for that.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm definitely proud of him. I tell him this all the time. The military idea was off that trajectory that we had for him, but
Yeah.
he made do it what he had. So, so
Yeah.
that's good. But yeah, now seriously though, that's it really, whenever I hear anything, whenever anybody tell me about my kids and stuff, that definitely makes me feel good. So I appreciate you expressing that to me.
For sure, for sure. All right, cool. So, call to action. If this conversation helped you, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all platforms. Share with another dad who may need some help. You can follow us at Let's Be Dads on every platform. Whatever the case is, just follow us. If you have any questions, comments, concern, need any help, shoot us a message. Whatever the case is, we're here to talk. We're not therapists. Want to say thank you again to Mr. McLeod.
Yes, sir. You're
Legacy
welcome.
isn't something. Go ahead, brother. Legacy is something that we leave behind someday. It's something that we build every day in the moments of our kids watching. Like, appreciate you guys. It's your boy York, my guy McLeod. You guys have a good one.